The royal hall of Queen Zara was a place where humans were never treated with respect. Every wall was tall and sharp like a blade, glowing with cold blue alien light, and every guard stood with disgust on their face whenever a human walked by. But today, something different was happening. A single human stood in the center of the hall, surrounded by hundreds of aliens watching him with mocking smiles. His name was Liam. He was a simple human mechanic who came to fix the Queen's damaged starship engines. He expected a normal repair job, not a whole royal gathering staring at him like an insect. He stood quietly, hands at his sides, trying to stay calm. Then Queen Zara entered. She was tall, powerful, and feared across 10 star systems. Her eyes glowed like fire. Her crown shined like a blade. And the entire hall bowed as she walked. Liam did not bow, not because he wanted to disrespect her, but because he didn't know the alien custom properly. The hall gasped. The Queen's eyebrow rose in slow amusement. "So this is the human mechanic," she said loudly, her voice echoing like thunder. "This tiny creature is what the council sent to fix my royal engine." Aliens laughed from every corner. Liam felt his face heat up, but stayed silent. He had faced worse before he was used to people thinking humans were weak. Queen Zara stepped closer until she stood right in front of him. She looked him up and down, then smirked in front of the whole hall. Her voice turned sharp, loud, and cruel. "Tell me, human, do you even have 10 centimeters of strength in your whole body?" The hall exploded with laughter. Even the guards laughed openly. They weren't laughing at a measurement. They were laughing at the idea that a human could ever be strong enough to face alien standards. Liam swallowed hard. A normal person might explode in anger or run out in shame, but he simply took a slow breath and lifted his eyes to hers. He didn't say a word. His calmness made her narrow her eyes. "Oh," she said slowly. "So the human has some pride." She circled him like a predator studying prey. "You think you can work on my ship without proving your worth?" "I came to repair engines," Liam answered quietly. "I didn't come to fight or show strength." The Queen leaned even closer until he could feel her breath. "That," she whispered, "sounds like fear." More laughter from the court, but Liam didn't step back. He didn't shake, he didn't lower his head. That small act of courage made many aliens fall silent for a moment. Zara saw that pause, and she did not like it. She refused to let a human stand confidently in her hall, so she raised her hand. The huge doors behind her opened, revealing a massive stone arena glowing with alien symbols. "You want to show you are not weak," she said in a cold voice. "Then you will face the ancient trial of endurance." The hall whispered with shock. No alien attempted that trial unless they were warriors. It was deadly, brutal, and designed to break even their strongest fighters. "Your Majesty?" An alien advisor whispered nervously. "He is only a human." The trial might Zara cut him off with one finger in the air. "If he is weak, he dies quickly," she said, "and we move on if he is strong. Then maybe humans deserve a second look." Her words felt like knives, but Liam simply nodded. He did not argue, he did not protest, he just stepped forward, heart thumping in his chest. "Very well," he said softly, "I accept." The hall gasped again. Even Queen Zara froze for a second. She expected him to beg or cry or fall to his knees, but he stood tall, steady, and strangely calm. Her smile faded a little. Something inside her shifted irritation mixed with curiosity. "You accept," she repeated, her voice no longer mocking, more confused. Liam nodded again. "If you want me to prove myself," he said, "I will." Silence filled the hall. Even the air felt heavier for the first time. Aliens saw something in a human they never expected: fearless endurance. Queen Zara stepped back and stared at him with new eyes. This human was not what she imagined. Not fragile, not shaking, not begging. Her voice lowered into something serious and sharp. "Then prepare yourself, human," she said, "in the trial. Your body will break before your spirit does. Leah met her eyes and replied quietly. We will see. The doors of the trial chamber opened wider as the crowd murmured in disbelief. And as Liam walked toward the deadly arena, one thought spread across the hall like fire. What if humans are not weak at all? Part 1 ends with the human stepping into the ancient trial, while the queen watches him with a strange mix of anger and curiosity. The hall silent in fear and shock, the doors of the ancient trial closed behind Liam, and the heavy sound echoed through the alien hall like a warning. Every alien watching held their breath because no human had ever stepped into this place before. The chamber was huge, filled with stone platforms, burning lights, strange symbols, and a deep low hum that sounded alive. This was not just a test, it was a place built to break warriors. Liam looked around silently, trying to understand where the danger would come from. He felt the air shift like the chamber itself was watching him. Far above on a raised balcony, Queen Zara stood with her arms crossed, her expression unreadable. Many expected her to smile or mock him again, but she only watched closely, almost too closely. A voice boomed through the chamber. Begin. The ground shook as the first challenge rose from the floor. It was a heavy gravity field. A normal alien warrior always dropped to one knee in the first 10 seconds. But Liam felt the weight press on his chest, legs, and shoulders like a mountain trying to crush him. For the first moment, his body almost gave out, but then he pushed back. Step by slow step, he moved forward, surprising every alien watching from above. The queen leaned forward, unable to look away. The pressure grew stronger. Liam fell to his knees, but he did not stop. He placed his hands on the ground, pulled himself forward inch by inch, and forced his legs to move again. No human anywhere should have been able to continue under this level of force. Whispers filled the hall. Is he made of metal? How is he still moving? Why is his heart rate rising instead of falling? Zara heard those whispers, but she ignored them. Her eyes were locked on the human who refused to break. The gravity suddenly shut off, and Liam stumbled forward, almost falling. But he caught himself. He took a long breath and faced the next challenge. Sharp winds burst from holes in the walls. They were strong enough to cut skin. Alien warriors usually came out bleeding. Liam covered his face with one arm and kept walking as the wind sliced at his clothes and arms. His skin burned, but his steps were steady. Queen Zara felt something inside her twist. This human was not showing fear. He was not screaming. He was not begging to stop. He was enduring. The chamber changed again. Platforms began rising and falling, creating a chaotic moving floor. Aliens with strong legs always struggled here. Liam studied the movement for a moment, then jumped to the first platform. It dropped suddenly. He landed on the next one. It shook violently. He kept going, his eyes sharp and focused. Every alien stared in disbelief. Humans were said to be slow and weak, but Liam moved with quick thinking and flexible balance. His body adapted faster than the chamber expected. On the balcony, Zara whispered to herself, "What are you, the chamber?" Then unleashed the final part of the first stage. A heavy wave of heat blasted from every direction. The temperature rose so fast, the air shimmered. Aliens usually fainted or collapsed in this trial. But Liam kept walking forward, sweat dripping down his face and arms, his breath hot and heavy. The heat grew even worse, his vision blurred. His heartbeat pounded, but something in him refused to stop. He remembered his life on Earth, the long work hours, the heavy days, the times he had nothing but his own will. Pain was not new to him. Giving up was he pushed forward suddenly. The heat stopped, the chamber fell silent, the platforms lowered. The winds faded. Liam stood in the center of the arena, his chest rising and falling, but he was still awake. Still steady, still standing. The advisor on Zara's right whispered, "Impossible. No human, no alien, no one has crossed all 3 trials in one round since the days of the old king." Zara did not answer. Her eyes were fixed on Liam. For the first time, she felt something she never felt toward a human. Respect mixed with fear. Then the chamber glowed again, signaling the start of stage 2. A fresh wave of challenges far harder than before. Liam should have collapsed. He should have begged to stop, but instead he lifted his head and stepped forward again without hesitation. The aliens in the hall were no longer laughing. They were silent. Even the Queen felt her heart beat faster as she watched the human continue into the deeper levels of the ancient trial. Something dangerous and powerful was awakening in front of her. A truth no alien wanted to accept. Humans do not tire easily, and this one was only getting started. The chamber lights turned dark red as stage 2 of the ancient trial began. Every alien in the royal hall leaned forward, because this was the part where even champions surrendered. Liam stood alone in the center, his body bruised, sweating, and shaking, but his eyes full of focus that did not belong to a weak creature. Queen Zara watched him from above her arms, still crossed, but her expression no longer proud. She wanted him to fall, she wanted him to fail, but more than that, she wanted to understand why he was still standing. The floor split open, revealing rising pillars, each covered with glowing alien runes. They pulsed with heat and vibration. This stage was built to destroy stamina, to break legs, and tear muscle. Liam took a single breath, then stepped onto the first pillar. The pillar shot upward, his knees almost buckled, but he grabbed the edge, steadied himself, and moved to the next one. The second pillar shook violently, trying to throw him off. He bent low, kept his balance, and jumped again. Aliens gasped. Even warriors trained for years could not cross the pillars so smoothly. They always fell, slipped, cried out, or begged the Queen to end the trial, but Liam moved with raw survival instinct, like someone who had spent a lifetime fighting through hardship. Zara whispered under her breath. How is he not tired? Her advisor stepped closer. Your Majesty, humans are known to burn out fast. His energy should be gone by now, but the Queen shook her head slowly. Look at him. His movements are faster, his body is adapting. He is not slowing down. Down in the arena, Liam reached the middle of the pillars. His legs were burning. His arms felt heavy, but every time he thought he would fall, he pushed forward again, powered by something deeper than strength. He remembered the Queen laughing at him. He remembered the hall mocking his size. He remembered the question meant to humiliate him. Do you even have 10 centimeters? He did not want revenge. He wanted to prove something more powerful. He wanted to show that humans endure beyond pain and fear. Suddenly, the pillars sank into the floor. Another challenge rose, a rotating wall covered with spikes and shifting plates. Most aliens dodged it for a few seconds, then collapsed. Liam stepped forward and began matching its rhythm. The wall spun faster. He ducked an incoming plate. He jumped over a sweeping arm. He slid under a sharp edge that would have cut him open. Aliens stared with wide eyes. His stamina was not falling. It was rising. A whisper spread through the hall like wind. Humans are monsters. Humans do not break. Humans are dangerous. Zara heard the whispers, but her focus stayed on Liam. She felt something sharp inside her chest. Not fear, not anger, something else, something she did not want to name. The rotating wall suddenly released a shockwave. A blast strong enough to knock an alien warrior unconscious. Liam staggered backward, his vision shaking, his breath ragged. He should fall, he should faint, he should be done. But he straightened slowly. He set his feet, he lifted his hands again, and he re-engaged the wall. Zara stood up from her throne, unable to sit anymore. This was beyond anything she had witnessed. She turned to the advisor, scanned him. The machines activated beams of light running over Liam's body. The data returned. The advisor froze. Your Majesty, his stamina levels are increasing. His muscles are recovering during the trial. Humans are not supposed to do this. Zara whispered. I know. Down below, Liam finished the wall challenge and stepped forward to the third part of stage 2. The ground turned into shifting sand with sudden sinkholes. Alien warriors always panicked here. But Liam moved carefully, watching patterns, sensing movement, listening to the sand like it was alive halfway. Through his foot slipped, the sand pulled him down, he sank to his knee. The pit tried to swallow him. Aliens leaned forward, excited for his failure, but Liam slammed his hands into the sand and pulled himself out with pure, stubborn strength. He continued one step, then another, then another. The sinkholes closed and the sand-hardened stage 2 ended. Liam did not collapse. He did not sit. He only lifted his head and stared straight at the queen. Her heart skipped in her chest because for the first time in her life, she felt her breath catch. This human was unstoppable. This human was rewriting everything she believed about his species. He did not tire. He did not surrender. He did not bow. And she could not look away. Stage 3 lights lit up the final round, the deadliest round, and Liam stepped forward again without fear. The hall trembled. The queen whispered to herself, "This human, he is something else entirely." The chamber rumbled as Stage 3 prepared to begin, and every alien in the hall fell silent, because this stage was not meant for normal warriors. It was created only for royal challengers and elite guards. No human had ever come close to reaching it. But Liam stood ready, breathing slow and steady, as if he still had energy left in his body. Queen Zara watched him from above, her fingers tight around the railing of the balcony. She was not mocking anymore. She was not laughing. She was not even smirking. Something new was burning in her eyes, a sharp tension, mixed with disbelief. And something she refused to admit, even to herself. Liam looked stronger now, more stable, more confident. Humans should not grow stronger during torture, but this one was, and Zara hated how much it bothered. Her pride. The floor of the arena opened, and a massive shifting labyrinth rose from below. Walls, taller than 3 men, twisted and moved like living creatures. Inside the labyrinth burned heat waves, sonic blasts, and shifting gravity fields all mixed together. Alien warriors called it the impossible maze because no one had ever made it to the center. Liam stepped toward it. But before he entered, Zara raised her hand. Wait! Every alien in the hall looked up, shocked. Even Liam paused. Zara walked down the steps, slowly, her long armor glowing under the chamber lights. Her eyes never left Liam, even for a second. She entered the arena and stood right in front of him. "You have reached a point where only members of royal blood are allowed," she said. Her voice was steady, but there was a pressure hiding under it. "This stage is my domain." Liam nodded softly. "I can stop if you order it." Her jaw tightened because stopping him meant admitting he had earned respect. Allowing him to continue meant accepting a human was as worthy as alien royalty. Both choices tasted like defeat to her pride. She lifted her chin. "You will continue, but you will not face this stage alone. You will face it with me." The hall erupted in gasps. Royal queen entering her own trial had not happened in many lifetimes. Her advisors stepped forward in panic, shouting that this was not safe or proper. But Zara ignored them. She walked into the labyrinth. First, Liam followed behind her. The maze walls shifted, immediately closing paths and opening new ones. Heat blasted from vents. Gravity flipped sideways, then normal, then down again. Zara moved fast with the skill of a trained warrior, but every step she took, the maze pushed back harder. She leaped over a drop, crawled through a tight passage, dodged a sonic burst. Her breathing became heavy, even though she was known for her unmatched endurance. Liam stayed close behind. His steps were slower, but incredibly steady. He did not leap with perfect skill. He did not dodge with perfect technique, but he never stopped moving. His endurance carried him where agility could not. Zara felt frustration rise inside her. This was supposed to humble him, not her. They reached a narrow corridor where the walls slammed together in a crushing pattern. Zara dashed through, barely making it. Liam stopped. For a moment, studying the rhythm, every alien watching expected him to freeze. But he moved at the perfect moment and passed through without harm. Zara stared at him. "How did you time that?" he shrugged. "I just watched how the walls breathe." The queen clenched her teeth. She was known for reading battle rhythm, but this human read the maze even faster. The path led them to a gravity pit, where the pull shifted so violently that aliens usually fainted. Zara staggered forward, her legs shaking, her breath sharp. The gravity field pulled her down harder than she expected, and she slipped on the floor. Liam caught her arm before she fell into the pit. The queen froze in surprise. He pulled her back with a strength she did not believe humans possessed. "You saved me," she whispered. "You would have done the same." Liam said calmly. Zara looked away, unable to answer. Her pride cracked. This human was not weak. He was not slow. He was not small. He was something else. Entirely, they continued deeper into the maze. Zara pushed herself harder, but her steps grew unsteady. Her breath became ragged, her muscles trembled. Liam stayed right behind her, his pace never slowed. His breathing stayed steady. He looked as if he could walk for another hour without stopping. Zara reached a point where she had to lean against a wall. She inhaled, sharply trying to hide her exhaustion, but Liam saw it. He stepped beside her, ready to help if she collapsed again. The queen hated that, but she also needed it. Her pride did not allow her to thank him. Not yet. The final chamber of the labyrinth opened ahead, a glowing center full of pulsing energy. Reaching it meant victory, but Zara collapsed to one knee. Her body finally giving out. Every alien in the hall gasped their queen. The strongest of all was falling. Liam stepped forward and caught her shoulders. Before she hit the ground, the queen of 10 star systems unable to continue. Saved by a human she once mocked. Her voice shook. For the first time, human, what are you? Liam helped her stand. Just someone who does not tire easily, he said. Zara's heart pounded in her chest, not from exhaustion, but from something else, something dangerous, something new. The final chamber of the labyrinth glowed with bright energy, and deep shadows mixed together, and the whole arena watched in silent shock. Because their queen, the strongest warrior of 10 star systems, was on her knees trembling while a human stood beside her. Still steady, still strong, still refusing to fall. No one understood what they were seeing. Not even Zara herself. Liam placed one hand under her arm, helping her stand. His touch was gentle but firm enough to hold her weight. Zara felt her pride break further because she was not used to being helped, especially not by a human she once mocked in front of everyone. She tried to push his hand away, but her legs almost gave out again. So she let him support her. She hated that she needed him, but she also felt something strange when his hand held her steady. Warmth, safety, strength. The labyrinth suddenly roared to life. Its walls shook loudly. The final challenge had awakened, and the center of the maze began to open like a giant metallic flower. Inside was a swirling pool of energy, ancient, unstable, deadly. The ground under Zara cracked, sending her sliding toward the pit. She could not react in time. Her balance was gone. Her body, too exhausted. The court gasped as their queen slipped toward certain death. Liam did not think. He moved with pure instinct. He grabbed Zara around her waist, pulled her toward himself, and turned his body to absorb the fall. His back slammed onto the ground with force that would have broken bones, but he held her tight, protecting her from every hit. Dust filled the air. The court was frozen. No alien moved. Zara lay on top of him, her eyes wide. She could hear his heart beating strong and steady. Even after such a brutal fall, she felt his breath on her cheek, and she realized something terrifying. This human had risked his life without hesitation, not to win, not to prove anything, just to save her. "Why did you do that?" she whispered, her voice shaking. "Because you were falling," he answered simply. Zara stared at him. Her mind could not understand a person like him. Humans were supposed to be selfish, weak, quick to surrender, but this one was not weak. He was something her people had never seen before. She pushed herself up slowly. Her face came close to his. Her hair fell over his shoulder, her breath brushed his skin, and for a moment, the entire hall waited to see what she would do. Liam stood up, helping her once more. He was bruised, bleeding, tired, but his posture stayed straight. Zara forced herself to stand on her own feet again, but her body still swayed. Liam instinctively held her elbow steady. "Do not touch the queen," one guard shouted in fear and anger. But Zara lifted her hand, commanding silence. She did not pull away from Liam. She did not hide the way she leaned on him. She did not pretend. She was still strong. She looked at him with eyes that no one had ever seen from her, soft, confused, almost vulnerable. They walked together toward the center of the ish. Chamber the floor shook harder. Bright energy burst upward in violent waves. Any normal creature would have turned back. But Liam stepped forward, first shielding Zara with his own body. "Stop," she said. "You will get hurt." "I am already hurt," he said, "but I can still move." "Why do you not rest?" she asked. "Why do you not collapse already? Why will you not stop?" He looked at her. "Because humans keep going even when everything hurts." Those words cut deeper than any blade. Because she realized they were true, he did not have royal training. He did not have alien strength, he only had will, and it was stronger than anything she had ever known. Another explosion shook the chamber. And a giant fragment of stone broke loose from the ceiling. It dropped straight toward Zara. She gasped and tried to move, but her body was too slow. Liam leaped forward, grabbed her, and rolled her out of the way. The stone smashed into the floor beside them, sending up a cloud of dust. If he had been a moment later, she would have died. She stared at him in disbelief. "You saved me again." "I will keep saving you," he replied, "until you are safe." Zara felt her heart pounding in a way that had nothing to do with fear or exhaustion. For the first time in her life, she felt small, not in weakness, but in awe. This human had nothing to prove. He simply chose to protect her again and again. The energy chamber calmed slightly as the center stabilized. Zara tried to step forward, but her legs failed. Liam lifted her into his arms. Without hesitation, the court gasped, but the queen did not resist. She wrapped one arm around his shoulder because she had no strength left. Liam carried her to the final platform. His steps never wavered, his breath never cracked, his body never shook. The queen whispered near his ear. "Human, why do you not break?" Liam answered softly. "Because you needed me not to." Zara closed her eyes. Something inside her changed forever. No alien had ever made her feel safe. No warrior had carried her through danger. No creature had ever stood so strong for her sake. But this human, this man, he was different, and she knew. The trial was no longer a test of strength. It was a test of truth. And the truth was this: the human she mocked was the one saving her life again and again. The moment Liam carried Queen Zara out of the collapsing center chamber, a strange silence spread through the royal hall. The guards, the advisors, the nobles. Everyone watched with wide eyes because they had never seen their queen in the arms of anyone, let alone a human. But Zara did not shout. She did not push him away. She did not hide her face. She simply rested against his shoulder, breathing slowly, trying to understand what was happening inside her chest. Liam gently placed her on a stable platform as the maze walls lowered back into the ground. The trial was officially over. A human had reached the deepest point, a place even elite royals could not reach without collapsing. But that victory was not what shocked the court. The real shock was how their queen looked at the human. She stared at him with raw honesty, no armor of pride, no wall of arrogance, no mocking spark in her voice. Only deep confusion and respect. Liam stepped back, giving her space. "Your Majesty, are you all right?" His voice was soft and careful. Zara opened her mouth to answer, but she could not find the words. Her throat tightened. This had never happened before. Not in battle, not in politics, not in front of enemies. Not even with her own people. A human was the first one to make her speechless. Her advisor ran toward her. "Your Majesty, let us help you." But Zara lifted her hand. She did not need anyone else. Not at this moment. She stood slowly, her legs trembled. Liam reached out to steady her. She placed her hand on his forearm. The court gasped. A queen touching a human in front of everyone. It was unthinkable. Zara felt the warmth of his skin. Steady, strong human warmth. She had insulted this man in front of hundreds. She had questioned his worth. She had mocked his strength. Yet he had saved her multiple times without asking for anything in return. "Why did you come back for me again and again?" she asked. Her voice shook slightly. Liam answered, "Simply because you were in danger and I was there." She felt her heart strike hard against her chest. Such a simple reason, such a human reason. The advisors whispered, "He is manipulating her. He is trying to gain favor." But Zara ignored them all. She knew the truth. Liam did not look like someone chasing power. He looked like someone who cared. The queen stepped forward and faced the entire hall. Her voice rang out strong, even if her body still trembled. The human has completed the royal endurance trial. No alien present has ever achieved what he just did. Gasps filled the hall. Some aliens stepped backward in disbelief. Zara continued, "He saved my life not once, but many times. He stood beside me when any other challenger would have run." She looked at Liam again. Her eyes softened. This human proves humans are not weak. Not small, not fragile. He proves that strength does not always come from size or muscle. Sometimes it comes from will. The hall murmured uneasily. Aliens were not used to hearing praise about humans. And they were especially not used to hearing it from their queen. Zara lifted her chin. "I mocked him. I insulted him. I tried to break him. But he did not break, and because of him I am still alive today." Liam felt something warm rise in his chest. He did not expect this. He did not expect the queen of an entire star system to defend him publicly. Zara turned toward him fully, her voice lowered so only he could hear. "Do you know how many warriors tried to impress me over the years? Thousands, but none of them endured like you did today." Liam blinked, surprised. He did not know what she meant. But the way she looked at him made his heart skip. The queen stepped even closer, her face inches from his, her voice barely a whisper. "You humans are strange. You are soft, yet unbreakable. You fall, yet get up. You bleed, yet keep fighting. You risk everything for someone you barely know." Liam answered quietly. "We call that being human." Zara felt her stomach twist. Not in fear, not in anger, in something deeper, something she could not hide anymore. She stepped back and addressed the hall again. "The trial is over, and from this day forward, the human Liam is under royal protection." Shock spread like wildfire. Royal protection was a sacred status given only to heroes and trusted allies. Liam looked confused. "Why would you give me that?" Zara met his eyes. "Because you earned it, because you saved me, because you showed me a truth I refused to see." She hesitated, then added something that made every alien freeze, "And because I want you by my side. Not as a servant, not as a subject, but as someone I respect." Liam's breath caught. Zara's hands were slightly shaking. She had never spoken such words before, not even to her closest generals. The hall erupted in whispered chaos, but Zara ignored them. She looked only at him. "This human has changed everything today," she said quietly, "and even I cannot deny it anymore." The royal hall was shaking with whispers as Queen Zara stepped down from the platform. Her steps slow but steady, because even though her body was tired, her mind was clear for the first time in years. Every alien present expected punishment for the human, expected the queen to reclaim her pride, expected the old arrogance to return. But Zara was no longer the same queen who mocked Liam in front of everyone. Something inside her heart had changed in the labyrinth. Something she could not silence. Liam stood quietly waiting for her command. His clothes torn, his skin bruised, his body exhausted, but his eyes calm as always. He looked ready for anything except the words she was about to say. Zara approached him until they were only a breath apart. The entire hall held still. Not even the guards dared to blink. Zara raised her hand. Liam straightened, preparing for judgment, but instead of striking him, she touched his chest gently with her palm. A touch so light that even she seemed surprised by it. Her voice echoed through the hall. "Human, you are no longer a challenger, no longer an outsider. From this moment, you belong to the royal court, under my protection, under my trust." The hall erupted in shouts. "Unacceptable. A human in the royal circle, this breaks tradition. This breaks honor." Zara ignored every voice. She looked only at Liam. "You earned my respect through strength and courage, but you earned something else when you saved my life." She said quietly, "You earned a place no one has ever held before." Liam swallowed. "Your Majesty, why me?" Zara lowered her hand. "Because you were the only one who saw me as more than a crown. Because you came back for me without hesitation. Because you carried me when my own legs failed. Because you fought not for victory, but to keep me alive." Liam felt his heartbeat pound, but he stayed silent, letting her speak. Zara took one step closer. Her eyes were deep and steady. "And because you awakened something inside me, something I did not know, I was missing the hall," gasped. Some dropped to their knees. Others dared not breathe. A queen had never spoken like this. Not in public, not about anyone, especially not about a human. Zara turned to the crowd, her voice growing louder. "You told me humans are weak. You told me they break easily. You told me they are beneath us, but this human has proven all of you wrong." She pointed toward the shattered labyrinth. "Look at what he survived. Look at what he achieved. Look at what he protected." Her eyes swept across the hall like a storm. Strength is not measured by size. Power is not measured by height. Worth is not measured by blood. Strength comes from will, and today, this human showed more will than my entire royal guard combined. The guards lowered their heads, unable to deny it. Zara stepped toward Liam. Again, her voice softened. "Human, tell me your truth. What do you want from me, from this court, from this future?" Liam hesitated. He was never a man who asked for much. He fixed engines, helped people, and lived quietly. But standing here, in front of a queen, whose eyes held worlds of meaning, he felt something change inside him. "I want nothing that belongs to others," he said. "I do not want glory. I do not want power. I only want to keep helping where I am needed. And right now, I think you need someone who will stand beside you, not for your crown, but for you." Zara felt her breath stop. No one had ever spoken to her like that. Everyone wanted her power or her approval. Everyone bowed, always, but this human. He talked to her like she was not a queen, like she was a person, like she was someone who deserved honesty, not fear. She stepped even closer. So close their foreheads almost touched. Her voice lowered to a whisper. "Then, will you stay? Will you remain by my side?" Liam met her gaze. "If you want me to, I will." Zara's eyes softened in a way no alien had ever seen before. "Then I choose you," she said, in front of everyone. Her voice powerful, yet full of emotion. The court erupted into chaos, but Zara did not care. She reached forward and touched his face gently. "A gesture reserved for sacred vows. From this day, you are not just under my protection. You stand beside me as my equal, my chosen, the one I trust with my life." Liam felt something warm and overwhelming in his chest. This was more than honor, more than respect. This was something deeper. Zara finished her declaration. And if anyone dares to question this, they question their queen's silence, crushed the hall. No one moved, no one dared. The decision was absolute. Zara looked at Liam, her voice trembling with truth. "You asked earlier why you do not break, why you do not fail, why you keep going, and now I understand. You are human, and humans do not tire easily." Liam smiled softly. "I guess that is true." Zara extended her hand. "Stay with me, not because you must, because I want you to." Liam took her hand, not as a servant, not as a soldier, but as someone who had finally found where he belonged, the queen of the stars and the human she once mocked. Walked out of the ruined hall together, side by side, equal in strength, equal in choice, equal in heart. And the galaxy would never be the same again.